I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that. Spitting slow, spitting fast. I could roast, I could gas. Think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past. And the pettiness, a reflection of the emptiness. Hilarious, you think you're worth my time, you're delirious. Mysterious, because you hide behind a fake exterior. Inferior, you know.
This is the value of wrestling, the revolutionary force in wrestling podcasting.
Ooh, ladies and gentlemen, we are live. We are here with your AEW Collision review for December 9th, 2023. And it's probably on a little better note than it's been in the past. We got a Collision that was pretty good because it was about matches. Didn't really mess around with a whole lot about storylines, but it gave you matches in the ring. It was an up and down type of night, but overall a good show. Because we got some great matches, and we started off hot, and we're going to get into that, but let's get to the introductions first. Man sitting across from me, the one, the only. Oh, you know, and it's me. I'm the big time, and I'm here, doing it like I do, and we are going to get deep into this. We are here. If you are here, thank you for joining us, joining the chat, joining the conversation. Let us know what you think about tonight's AEW Collision. Though there were some loopholes, we will get into that when we get down into the nitty-gritty and the dirty. But overall, you have some good solid matches. They didn't really try to blend too many storylines into here, which is okay. So I think when AEW tries to do too much is when it gets bad. They just stuck with the matches tonight, and we got a good match. We started off with Eddie Kingston versus Claudio Castagnoli. Eddie Kingston, you always got to love how he comes out. The opening of the show, we got the promos. Eddie Kingston had probably the best promo, was ready to fight. No, not a whole lot of like promo to it. It's just like, we're here at Saturday night. Let's fight. Let's do it. Let's go. Kingston came out. I think he did 10 laps around in the ring before this match ever started. Claudio Castagnoli came out. And boy, did we get a hard-hitting match between these two guys. These two guys bring it. Like, they really make you feel they do not like each other. And some people may say they don't like each other, but at least they can do business because they get in there, and it's a brutal back and forth. They came down to smacking and hitting each other there. That was beautiful. Back and forth moves. Both guys seemed excellent. Eddie tried to hit a back fist, but it turned into a powerbomb attempt by Claudio, who rolled through for a 1-2, but no, Eddie reverses it and rolls up Claudio for a 1-2-3. This match went 18 minutes, 4 seconds. We almost hit a time limit draw here, but this was a good match between the two of these guys. They just beat the snot out of each other. Eddie Kingston stinks the wind out of here. Claudio, you can tell, was not happy about that, but I think we got a good, solid match. Eddie Kingston gets points. He's not completely getting buried, so he doesn't get the Mark Briscoe, Jay Lethal round here, because if he would have lost tonight, he would have been out, and he would have no longer been the champion, period. So at least Eddie Kingston stays in. They did scare me a little bit because I thought maybe they leave Claudio to win this, but no, Eddie Kingston gets a good win here. I'm happy to see Eddie is still in this tournament. This was a good, solid match between the two big bulls, really. Your thoughts, Mr. Clarke?
You know, the fact that I think it was said on commentary that Eddie Kingston stole a win. I'm like, a pin is a legal good thing, whether you do it with a high impact move or not. He won fair and square. It is what it is.
Yeah, he stole it. That would be an Eddie Kingston thing. I wouldn't kill him for it. He got it, and I'm glad to see it. That's the big thing. Anyways, we get a great promo backstage. From there, we got a good backstage promo with Moxley where he's talking about, oh, I'm supposed to be afraid of whoosh. Moxley's really good at selling out. He's calling Swerve a lot of buzz, but buzz is cheap. They're really building this Moxley Swerve match, which is going to be great. So can't wait to see that. We also get a moment with Renee and Hook, and then Wheeler Yuta rolls in, and they're bouncing back and forth. So I guess we're going to get Hook and Wheeler Yuta with both titles on the line, I think is what we got out of this, but we'll have to wait and see there.
No, it's for the FTW title.
Okay. So we'll get the FTW title on the line. So we'll see how that goes. From there, we got the women's match tonight. We got Willow Nightingale versus Mercedes Martinez. This was a night of ups and downs. This wasn't one of the best matches of the night. It was a decent match between these two. It went back and forth. Eventually, Razor's Edge attempt by Martinez flips her over into a face butter. Willow rolls her up for a 1-2-3 at 9 minutes 48 seconds. Willow Nightingale gets a win. Immediately as the bell rings, DeMonte slides in to begin a 2-on-1 assault on Willow. She brings out a tiny ladder. Martinez dives. We got a double team here until Chris Statlander came out to save Willow. This was an okay match. I mean, you know, Willow Nightingale's been more used recently than maybe more Mercedes Martinez. A lot of this has to do with we don't really know these characters, so it's hard to get kind of invested. And this match was just kind of average. It wasn't bad. It wasn't great. It was just there. I guess they're going to continue they're continuing the Chris Statlander, Willow Nightingale friendship, and I guess maybe we're going to get another feud out of this. We'll have to see how it goes from here. Your thoughts, Mr. Clarke, on Willow Nightingale versus Mercedes Martinez, because I know you're big fans of both these ladies.
How did you guess? On and off, been following Mercedes Martinez from the Indies to WWE, now in AEW. Diamante from TNA to AEW. Willow Nightingale is just AEW, but I've liked her work because I was watching Elevation and Dark when those were shows. So I guess it depends on how much you've been paying attention. What interests you, I guess I should say. I thought this was actually, a pretty decent match for a TV match. Now, definitely not pay-per-view quality, but for a TV match, I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
You see the result. Willow goes over, so it's like at least we're still building Willow after using her as enhancement talent for so long on AEW TV.
Yeah. From here, we get Daddy Magic and Cool Hand Angelo along with Jake Hager. Hager's bad about the hat and Danhausen and that crap. Daddy Magic is happy to be back in Canada and can't wait to add their names to the list of great Canadians. Ange is home, and they get to do their thing in front of their friends and family tonight. Sheree shows up, as does Ruby Soho. Ange flirts with her. Sheree wants to know what Ruby is hiding. Ruby's wearing a Cool Hand Ange t-shirt. She calls Ruby evil and knows Ruby is going to leave her, just like Tony did. Next week, Ruby Soho will have to prove herself against Sheree. So the Outcasts are breaking up. We're going to get Ruby Soho versus Sheree. Who cares? Who cares? Who cares?
Did you notice who was with Saraya, though?
No.
I believe it was Anna Jay.
Yeah. Anna Jay was standing up on the side. But
yeah, that's what I meant.
I don't know when she showed up, nor did I really pay attention to this moment because I don't really care about anybody in this. They haven't really done anything to make these people feel important. And I know you're okay with the little love angle here, but to me, it's like nobody is really important here, so I don't really divest my attention into their story because I don't feel like it elevates anybody. It's busy work, and the former JAS society just keeps feeling like a joke. So to me, I mean, that's a me thing. It's just I don't get invested because I'm like, there's nobody here that I care about enough. Anna Jay is great, but Anna Jay really wasn't involved. She was just a character standing off on the side. So
no, but I'm not trying to give too much credit to Tony Khan because I don't think he deserves any at this point. But possible seeds is all I'm looking at it as.
We shall see. Backstage, we get a promo from Swerve. Swerve was a little lackluster in this promo. He just doesn't feel like he's followed through. After what he did with Hangman, I just don't feel that what we got with him at the edge of Hangman, I just don't feel there's that follow through with him. I just don't I just feel like we went back to Swerve before. Like he should be more violent and devious. I just feel like this was just an average Swerve promo about him facing Moxley next week, his house, you know whose house, yada yada yada. Wasn't really impressed. I felt Moxley's promo made more sense than Swerve's promo here, but to each their own. I just don't feel like Swerve. Like after you do what you do with Hangman, like I want to see that I don't know. He just doesn't feel like he's coming off as the same
As
character there.
aggressive as he should.
Yeah, it's just I feel lackluster. Anything you want to add to Swerve's promo there?
No, not much to cover there, to be honest.
And then the match that was pretty much was the joke of the night. Mr. Mayhem, which I don't remember Wardlow. Excuse me, sorry, Wardlow. You know, I don't remember Wardlow being on Sons of Anarchy and answering the call when they voted for Mr. Mayhem. But hey, he's taking on Willie Mack because Willie Mack's AR Fox's friend, and Willie Mack needs to stand up for his friend. Willie Mack kind of controlled this match in the very beginning, but then just got beaten down. Got a power bomb, and then we had a huge power bomb. And Wardlow exits the ring, and then the referee looks at Mack and calls for the bell, and they tell us that Wardlow, won this match at 3 minutes, 12 seconds. This was stupid. Wardlow is boring at this point. There's no depth to him. He doesn't feel like a real threat. He beat Willie Mack. Whoop-ee. Willie Mack looks good. He had some good moves here, but Willie Mack hasn't really been presented to feel like he was a threat to what Wardlow's been doing to make Wardlow feel impressive against Willie Mack.
Mm-hmm.
So Wardlow just Wardlow, because he just comes in and squashes the guy. And how do you leave the ring before the match is over to have he left the ring, and this is where I'm just like, how do you leave the ring to call the match? That's just he just walks out like, okay, I'm done playing, and walks out, and then they call it like as he steps out, ding ding ding, here's your winner, Wardlow. Why did Wardlow win? He didn't win by a pin. They didn't say, oh, because of knockout, because of referee. It was just stupid. This is where I get pissed off at Tony Khan. And again, this is why I said good, bad, good, bad. The good matches were good, though, so I have to give it to that. But this was just, keep Wardlow off my TV. I don't want to see Wardlow. He bores me. This is probably what put Mr. Clarke to sleep. But hey, Mr. Clarke, your thoughts on Wardlow and Willie Mack? Because I know you're a Mack fan.
I have my ups and downs with him, but because I've been following his career again from the Indies to Lucha Underground to TNA, well, Impact Wrestling, whatever. I was like, you see that he's talented, but he's used as enhancement talent. I don't understand that line of thinking.
Yeah.
At least give him a shot. If you're going to put him on a show, give him a shot to showcase for future bookings. That's all I ask.
I love how this person said I loved Wardlow leaving before the match had even been called off. I'm like, but that doesn't. You stepped out of the ring. Shouldn't that have been started a count out since the match hadn't ended? Like, I don't get the rules of wrestling. He left the match before the match was over, so you should have been counting Wardlow out. So technically, Willie Mack should have won this match by count out because Wardlow left the ring before the match was called. Make it make sense. Anyways, in the battle for the King of Canada, Ethan Page out here to face Kenny Omega. Of course, Kenny Omega came out first. Ethan Page came after that. We got a strong battle here. Ethan Page got a lot of moves in there. Really let Ethan Page have a nice showcase here. It was good to see Kenny Omega do what Kenny Omega can do. Kenny Omega felt impressive here. Felt like Kenny Omega of the old. He hit 2 V triggers before he hit a one winged angel. This match went 12 minutes, 39 seconds before Kenny Omega won. This is a good, solid match. A nice match. It gave Ethan Page what he needed. And, of course, after the match, Kenny Omega raised the hand of Ethan Page to at least give him some of his celebration. And then Omega rolled out of the ring. And as Omega was walking up the stage, he turned his back. And out came Big Bill and gave Omega a big boot. And then Ethan Page, worn out and kind of injured, tried to run up the stage to check on Omega, and Big Bill kind of made a stroke. So Big Bill and Ricky Starks have taken out both Omega and Kenny Omega now. So we'll have to see how that goes going forward. From there, there was nothing you needed to add to that match, right? Yeah. Okay. From there, we went Lexi Nair with CJ Perry asking about the pressure on Andrade tonight. Perry kind of just boring. I don't know why she just doesn't feel. I guess seeing her as Lana's feeling that she felt impressive with Lana as Perry, she just kind of seems plain and boring. I can't get behind it. She hypes up Andrade against Bryan tonight. Miro eventually walks in and says he wants to know when she last. Oh, because Perry ran down a whole list of the accolades of Andrade and talked about how great Andrade is. Miro comes in as Perry's husband and goes, "How many? When's the last time you talked so many good things about me? Why is she mad at him because he's a breadwinner?" And we get the old classic. I guess Miro wants her to stay at home, and he makes this whole when Daddy with the fish, Mama would gut the fish. When Daddy took a board by his bare hands and killed it and took it home, Mama got the boar. It's just Miro kind of makes sense, but he wants Perry to stay home and clean and do the dishes, and Perry doesn't want to do that. He says he won't mess with Andrade until after the tournament's over. So I guess at some point, Miro may cost Andrade this tournament. That may be what they're trying to allude to, or Miro may wait until after the tournament and then go after Andrade. We'll have to see about that. Up next, we got a video package for the Princess of Darkness, Julia Hart, doing her whole storyline about joining the House of Black, and everyone's hiding behind a mask. And now we know that Abaddon and Hart are going to feud on TV. So it looks like Abaddon and Julia Hart are going to have a match for the TBS title at some point in the future. Yay, us. I know you're an Abaddon fan, but I'm like, nah, they don't really do much.
I understand from your side.
She did win last. Abaddon did win last night at Rampage, so I guess they're going to try to build her to feel like a threat. But I mean, she doesn't look like a threat. And of course, they haven't presented her like the Abaddon that in other places. They do. Tony Khan's playing the safe Abaddon for whatever reason. He can let Hangman drink another man's blood, but he can't let us have like full on Abaddon. So who knows what Tony Khan thinks. Anyways, in the world of strangeness, we had Matt Menard and Angelo Parker out here to face Commander and Penta El Zero. Why? Nobody cares. 4 men that pretty much nobody cares about anymore. Penta's a lost cause. Commander off the ropes and they get the win. Penta El Zero and Commander get the win in this tag team match. It was a match. I mean, I can't get hyped behind Angelo Parker and Matt Menard. Or Mr. Ruby Soho and the next Brutus the Barber Beefcake against Commander and now Penta Mirror Zero. He looks like the next Brutus. I'm sorry. Always, I look at him, I'm just like, God, they should make him the next Booty Man or something. I don't know. Anywho, he could team up with Daddy Ass, and they could be the Booty Boys.
Oh, we already have Ass Boys.
Yeah. Well, no, we have the guns. They're not the Ass Boys anymore. They don't take it that way. Well, I guess
not according to the audience.
Of course, if you want to talk about the only people that I would probably say were the true Ass Boys, that would be the boys of Dalton and the boys.
I'm sure you don't mean ass clowns at this point, the way they're booked.
Is there anything you want to add to Penta Miro Commander versus the former guys from NXT and WWE that were 2.0 or something? I forget what their name was.
Yeah, it was.
They left
2.0.
because they weren't feeling they were being booked right, and they wind up here in AEW. They got into JAS, got their names changed, and now they are running around being the former JAS. That's just to refer to by even got the former JAS people. It's like, wow, that's sad that that's the only way you can be recognized.
I mean, there was a time on the Indies when they changed the name to 3.0. But this name team hasn't done anything for their booking. No matter what they're called.
They do not need to make themselves 3.0 in AEW, because then I think Tony Khan would have visions of WCW, and the next thing we know, we'll have Jake Hager and Menard and Angelo sitting there doing their dance off as like 3.0 count.
Oh Lord. Okay, I see where you're going with that.
And since we're on an AEW show, we're going to give us more history about Shane Taylor and Keith Lee because, hey, why not? It's going to be a match you're going to see on Ring of Honor, but that's about it. And then the notes cut off. Do I need to refresh this? I didn't get the last notes. Why did I not get the last notes?
They're short notes.
because that should be the last match of the night, which, okay, here we go. I got the notes up. So from there, we get the final match for the Blue League. We get Bryan Danielson versus Andrade El Idolo. Now, good solid match here. Can't complain. Andrade went after the eye of Danielson. There was a cut above his eye. They sold this injury with Danielson at the end of the match. A hammerlock DDT by Andrade at 18 minutes, 24 seconds. So I almost thought this match would go through a draw. But Andrade gets the win here, which was actually surprising, which I was happy about. At least they're trying to make Andrade feel impressive in this. Of course, he went after the eye. Looked like he injured Bryan. He went over after the match was over and was checking on Bryan himself, like he felt bad. They were selling. He did what he needed to do to win the match, and now he felt bad. The other two members of Blackpool Combat Club, Claudio and Wheeler Yuta, come out. Claudio pulls Andrade off of, doesn't really pull him off of Danielson, but he pulls him away from Danielson, and Andrade's like, I'm just checking on him. And Claudio and Andrade get into it, and I think they still have to face in this tournament. So this adds a little something to spice up their little match. Good match. The only bad part in this match was the really confusing part is they tried on Tuesday when they recorded the show and the news hit that Bryan Danielson had been injured again, and everybody freaked out because we're like, oh no, we don't need Danielson injured again. That stupid freaking Tony Khan, everybody was going up. Then we found out from Sean Ross, it's all storyline based. This was recorded on Tuesday. Bryan also wrestled Daniel Garcia on Friday, which was recorded on Wednesday. So here's where Tony Khan's bad booking comes in. You can't start an angle the day before you set up another match that's going to precede the match to the match. Because the match that you recorded on Wednesday was going to show on Friday, but the match that you recorded on Tuesday was going to show on Saturday. And the Tuesday show was the show that you started an angle that didn't make any sense. Anyways, this is where Tony Khan's bad booking is. Match good, show good. Is what it is. Mr. Clarke, your thoughts on Andrade and Bryan Danielson?
I was very surprised, happily, don't get me wrong, but very surprised that Andrade got a win here, just based on his booking in this company.
Yeah.
I thought this was going to be a clean sweep for Danielson, and we're not getting that, which is, they always talk about how Cody Rhodes needs the adversity. Well, now Bryan Danielson's got a little adversity of his own that he's got to fight through.
Well, it's really interesting that the Gold League seems to be very solidified in who's going to win. They've already eliminated Jay Lethal and Mark Briscoe, but the Blue League, it seems like they're actually trying to keep people in this and make you feel like, ooh, like, okay, Andrade got to win. Oh, wait, well, Andrade's in it. Eddie Kingston got to win. Oh, Eddie Kingston's still in it. And I'm just like, so why is the Gold League like the throwaway and the Blue League's like the one that they really want to put emphasis on? Is my only thing. And the only other thing I had a big issue with was this storyline where Bryan was injured, but he's not injured, but it was a storyline kayfabe, but they recorded the show on Tuesday. Then they put him in a match against Daniel Garcia on a show that aired on Friday, but was recorded on Wednesday. And I'm just like, this is where you fuck up, Tony, because you try to book stuff in a storyline, but you can't book a storyline that's going to follow with another match in the middle. Like, why'd you even book Bryan and Garcia to face one another if you were going to start a storyline for Collision with Bryan having him an injury over his eye? Stupid. It's already killed. You might have been able to do that back in the day when shows didn't air right away and people weren't really able to share out the information with the internet, but that doesn't work anymore. So, anyways, I thought it was a pretty good show. It was mostly wrestling. We didn't get too many of the storylines. Again, it was one of these ups and downs. It was a little above its average crap. So that's why I said it was probably a little good. It was a little over its average cap. We got some decent matches. And they let the matches do the talking. They had some storyline in there, but not much to really kill it. Your thoughts of the overall show, Mr. Clarke?
This Continental Classic idea, very good on paper, not the best in execution, but it's still interesting enough to watch. That's kind of my take on tonight's show in general.
Yep. Alrighty. Well, this was a long show. This wasn't a great show. This wasn't a forever show. I know there's not a whole lot to add to it. And we appreciate everybody who's been in here to watch this. And if you're watching this later, we appreciate you watching this later. Make sure you go ahead and hit that like button. Make sure you ring that bell for notifications because we're going to be back live tomorrow afternoon at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time with the weekly roundup. Me, Mr. Clarke, and the one and the only Mr. Z. Well, we wrap up. We put it in a box. We wrap it up. We put a nice pretty bow on it. Everything that happened this week in wrestling. We're going to deliver that to you tomorrow at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We're going to review it all. We're going to talk about it all. We're going to put it all out there. We're going to discuss it in depth. And other than that, if you're new here, please hit that subscribe button. We are at 150. Thank you for everybody who's already subscribed. We want to keep that march going forward. Let's add more. Let's get to 200 before. And you know what? Maybe we can get to 300 before the end of the year. I know that may feel like a long shot, but we're trying here. We want to get to 1,000. That is our next main goal. Hopefully, once we get there, we can do something. Of course, once we hit 1,000, that's always going to help us out. And as we grow further, we hope to do special things for all of our subscribers. But we will get there when we get there. Cross that bridge. But with that all being said, this has been your AEW Collision review for December 9th, 2023. We thank you for being here. We will see you tomorrow afternoon. And I think we're just going to go ahead and get out of here because it was a better collision than we've had in the last few weeks, but not a whole lot to talk about. And we've covered it all, and we've made it pretty. At least I hope we did. But we will let you go until the next one.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play